In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to find the area of triangles. Now, I know we've already talked about how to find area. We know area equals 1/2 base times height, but the problem is you don't always have those dimensions. So this is an alternative to this just straightforward 1/2 base times height. So we're going to work on building the formula first and why it works and how it works. So I want to start with this example problem here. I want to find the area of this triangle. So we're going to start with area equals 1/2 base times height. I can see that my base is going to be equivalent to 150 meters. I need to find the height. Now, the good thing is we just talked about sine, cosine, and tangent, so I can use this 40-degree angle here for this right triangle in order to find the height. So the height would be the opposite, the 100 would be the hypotenuse, so I can use the sine of 40 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, so that would be h over 100. And I need to solve for h, so the height would be equivalent to 100 times the sine of 40. All right, so let's go back up to our original equation. Area equals 1/2. We know our base is 150, and we just determined our height is equivalent to 100 times the sine of 40. Okay, so I just used sine, cosine, and tangent in order to find the height of that triangle so that I can find the area. Okay, so that gives me, I'm going to type it in my calculator. If I just type that all in at once, I get the area is 4,820.9 square meters. All right, so that is overall how I would do it. But what we're going to do now is come up with a formula as far as how to make that work without having to go through the multiple steps of first finding the height and then plugging it in. So I've replaced some measurements on that last triangle with some variables here. Okay, we have sides A and B. So sides A and B. Okay, and then C here, this angle C is the included angle. Remember, the included angle is always the angle that's formed by the two sides. And then we have the height labeled here with H. So let's go back and think about how we did that again. We started with area is equal to 1/2 base times height. All right, so now in our specific figure here, the base is A, right? The base here is A. The height is what I had to solve for. Okay, so remember we did it from this angle over here, right? So we said that the sine of angle C was equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which would be h over b. I'm trying to get h by itself, right? I'm trying to isolate the h, so I need to multiply both sides by b. So I'd have b times the sine of C is equivalent to h. So when I'm going to plug that back in my original formula here, instead of h, I'm going to write b times the sine of C. This is actually your formula. Area is equal to 1/2 AB sine of C. So it just means 1/2 times the two sides times the sine of the included angle. Okay, so A and B notice are lowercase because they're sides. C is a capital because it is an angle. Okay, so 1/2 AB times the sine of C. So we're going to do two problems like that. And we're going to be using this formula instead of having to work on two separate equations to first get the height and then get the area. So our first example here, we know area, I'm going to write out our formula, is 1/2 AB times the sine of C. All right, so C is my included angle, which is right here, so this has to be C. My other two sides are A and B. It doesn't matter which one you call A, which one you call B, because remember, multiplication is commutative. All right, so we have area equals 1/2. My A is 5, my B is 8. I want to multiply that times the sine of my angle, which is 120 degrees. I can literally just type that all in all at once. And we have area equals 17.3 square meters. That's all there is to it. All right, let's try another one here. So I need two sides in the included angle. So I have two sides here and here, but the problem is I need this angle C. right? I'm not given this angle, but we do know there's 180 degrees in every triangle. So if I take 180 degrees, subtract what I know, then I can find the value of angle C. So if I take and subtract 52 and 34 from 180, I get 94 degrees. So I have 94 degrees here. So now I can use my 1/2 AB times the sine of C because I now have two sides in the included angle. So area equals 1/2. My A value is going to be 10. My B value is 8. Again, order doesn't matter there. Times the sine of 94. Okay, let's just go ahead and type that in. And I get 39.9 square inches. I specifically did this problem here because you will have problems like this in your homework where you have to solve for this angle first. So just be on the lookout for that. Another reminder, make sure your calculator is in degree mode because we are dealing with degrees. Our angles are measured in degrees, not radians.